Sit up straight. Press your fingertips down, lengthen through your sideways side chest. Move your arm bones back to bring your shoulder blades into your back. Keep this lift, release your hands to your thighs and close your eyes. Descend your thighs. Release any grip in the front of the groins, where the legs meet the hips. That's how you descend your thighs. From the descent of your thighs, lengthen up through the front of your body. Have your shoulders directly over your hips. And move your arm bones back to bring your shoulder blades into your back. And then turn your upper, you're not really moving your upper arms, but turn your upper arms out to bring the interior part of your shoulder blades into your back. That will help you lift your chest. At the same time, soften your neck and throat. Release your jaw. Rest your tongue into the base of your mouth. Take slow, even breaths. And then gently open your eyes. Extend your legs out. Take a blanket or whatever you have, a towel will work. Roll it up. I like mine rolled up about 2/3 of the way. And then I come into it from above. So I bring the roll underneath behind my knees and sit back towards my heels. You can also come into it by grounding your head into the floor, pulling the blanket in, and sitting back. If it's not enough for you, you can wiggle. Wiggling is like a little massage for the calf muscles. All right, interlock your fingers, turn your palms out, lift your arms up. Pull your triceps in towards your face. Lift your wrist higher and higher. Pull your abdomen back. Lift your wrist. Bring your hands back in and down. Interlock them behind. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest, extend your arms. Keep your chest well lifted, your neck soft, your jaw relaxed. Bring your hands back around to the front. Change the interlock of your fingers. Turn your palms out. Lift your arms up. Lift your wrist higher and higher. Pull your abdomen back so you're not sticking your ribs forward. Use your arms to get more length in the sides of your waist, more length in the sides of your torso, as if somebody was lifting you from your wrist. And bring your hands back down. Interlock them behind again. Change the interlock over so the other finger's on top. Roll your shoulders back. Lift your arms up. Keep your chest lifted, but don't let your ribs come forward and your buttocks stick out. So pull your ribs back and then lift your arms from the strength of your arms. And release that, roll your shoulders, come off your blanket. Come onto your hands and knees, or if it's more appropriate for you, your elbows. Spread your fingers well. Tuck your toes underneath. Come up into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Press your palms. Turn your upper arms out. Make sure your heels are in line with the little toe side of your foot. So if you look back at your heels, well, one, they should be even, so one's not coming in more. And then bend your knees, come back down to child's pose. Rest with your head down. All right, next go around. So this time you'll lift one leg up. So I'll come into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Downward facing dog. And then step, and this can be done on the elbows as well. So step your feet together. Then keep your left leg where it is. Lift your right leg up high. Lift it as high as it will go without turning your hips. Frequently this is done more often in vinyasa classes where you bend your leg and turn your hip. But today I want you to just lift from the back of your right thigh. So turn your thigh inward. Yeah. All right, lower that leg down. Take a breath, lift the other leg up. Sorry, I wasn't showing. It's hard to see you do it at the same time. So roll your left thigh in, lift from the heel of your left leg, and then grip the area right below your buttocks, between your buttocks and your thigh,
to lift the leg up higher. And then lower that leg back down. Take your feet hip width apart. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. Fold forward. Release the back of your neck. You can have your hands on your shins if they won't reach the floor. Place your hands on your hips. Inhale, come all the way up. All right, I'm going to be down on my knees just so you can see me. But you can be on your knees or just standing. So hold a block between your hands. If you have a choice of wood or foam, I would suggest foam. All right. So that when you're holding the brick, your elbows make a right angle. Press into the brick. See that your fingers are pointing towards the ceiling. Then you're going to lift your elbows up, but keep everything else the same. So the elbows still stay at a right angle as much as possible. They do want to go out. So bring your elbows in as much as you can and press into the block to do that. Then bring your hands back to center. Stretch your arms out. Press into the block. Relax your neck. With your next exhalation, you're going to lift the block very, very slowly. So lift it a few inches up, press into the block. This is the one of the easiest ways to create heat in the body for those times when it's 10 below. Next exhalation, lift it up a little more. Next exhalation, lift it up a little more. Lift your triceps up, don't let them hang down. Pull your abdomen back, and lift your block a little higher. Keep pressing into the brick. Keep pressing into the brick as you lift your arms higher. And as far up as they'll go. Then bring your hands back down. Rotate your shoulders a few times. This is the ego killer for yours truly. So have your hands, you have a nice little shelf here to rest the brick on. So put the brick on the shelf and roll your shoulders back. Then remove the brick from the shelf without gripping. So that's gripping the brick. So you don't want to grip the brick. And you can straighten your arms. Mine don't straighten all the way. Some people's do. But keep pressing into the brick. And then release it back down. All right. A little more shoulder work. If you have a strap, go get it. If not, you can do it without a strap. I forgot to get mine out. You're going to take your strap and make a loop shoulder width apart.
maybe a little wider if your shoulders are tight. And then place it above your elbows. And then we will all come into downward dog. Press out into the strap and lower your elbows about halfway to the floor. And then come back up. So make sure it's next to your elbows, otherwise it'll get in the way of your nose. You could have it below the elbows too, but it tends to fall. So come up into downward dog. And for me, the strap makes a nice headrest. But I have to remember to press my fingertips into the floor to lift my forearms off the floor. And then push your hands as strongly as you can into the floor to take your hips back and bend your elbows. Then straighten your elbows and bend your elbows. And straighten your elbows and bend your elbows. And straighten and come back down. So if that was challenging, stay there. If that was too easy, then you can remove the belt and you can come all the way down and all the way back up. But the trick is to come down with both arms at the same time. All right, so second attempt. We haven't done a lot of this in a while. I was thinking about it the other day. All right, so come up into Ardha Svanasana. Press your fingers forward to take your hips back. The further you can bring, the more weight you can bring into the feet, the easier this is on the shoulders. And then down and up. So if you're using the strap, just go down halfway, because sometimes if you go down all the way, you can't get back up. So just a little and then back up. So do, 4 or 5 of those. Keeping the weight back into the feet as much as possible. That will help you. And when you're done, rest in child's pose. Okay, looks like rest is over. Come up to standing. Stand about 18 inches away from the wall. About half a meter for those that prefer the other method. Put a block actually between your knee joints. So it's not on your thighs, it's on your knee joints. And then bring your feet, whatever distance close together that is. And make sure both your toes, both sets of toes are facing forward and lean against the wall. All right, need a timer. Okay, sit down. So the depth of your sit will have a certain area that's the most difficult. If you go too far down, you'll be on the floor. If you're too far up, you won't feel anything because you'll just be laying against the wall. So find a place that's appropriate that you're gonna find this difficult to do for a minute. And you're already halfway down, so I don't know if that helps. Ooh, night mode. All right, roll your shoulders back. Lift your chest. Oh, day mode. 10 more seconds. And then stand up. Now bring your feet together. Lean against the wall. So the block helps keep your knees going straight. Bringing the legs together also keeps your knees going straight. With your next exhalation, sit back down. Meditate here. Press your heels into the floor. Get your shoulders into the wall. Relax your jaw. If you get bored, you can lift a leg. And then the other leg. Not too many people, well, bored is weird, you know? It's, you're kind of tired of doing this, but you're not really bored. I just have to think of things to say to keep you entertained while we're here. Don't you wish you had a rope wall and you could reach up and grab the ropes? You could just reach your hands up. I'll give you something else to do. 5 more seconds. All right, come back up. Now stand with your feet together in the center of the room. I need to lift my camera up a little bit. Roll your shoulders back. Place your hands on your waist. Roll your shoulders back. From your pubic to your navel, lift up. And then bend your knees. Utkatasana. Try to be as upright with your torso as possible. And then bend your knees as low as they'll go, keeping an upright torso. So this is not it. The torso is upright, and you're sitting down. Now straighten your legs. Take a breath. Take your arms up. Imagine pressing into that block that we had before. With your next exhalation, bend down. Squeeze your legs together, that can help. Take your abdomen back. Sit down. Extend from your fingertips. And press your heels into the wall. Into the wall. That would be a trick. Stand up. All right. Virabhadrasana 1. Warrior 1. Stand with your feet together. Take your shoulders back, lift your chest. First, put the hands on the hips. Bring your hands in front of your chest. Take your arms and legs wide. Bring your hands to your hips. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Turn your feet to the right. So the right foot is turned all the way out. Left foot is turned in about 60 to 80 degrees. Press down with your left heel and your right big toe. Roll the left thigh in. Then bend your front leg. Bend your front leg as deeply as your back leg will allow. So the back leg has to remain straight. While the front leg bends, that's good. So see if you can grip the buttock of the back leg. And that will help you lift it up, oddly enough. Now straighten your right leg. Turn your 10 toes to the front, take a breath. With your next exhalation, turn to your left. Left foot out all the way, left thigh out all the way. Right leg in. All right, now grip that area between the buttock and the thigh, right at where the bloomers hit. If you're wearing such fashion as I am. So grip the back thigh, lift your chest, bend your left leg. Keep gripping the back thigh as you come down. Rotate your chest to face your left leg. Elbows pointing straight back. Lift your abdomen, sit down. And come all the way back up. Turn your 10 toes to the front. Take a breath here. Take your arms out. Turn your palms up. Bring your hands over your head like you had that brick. Pressing your hands into an imaginary brick. Turn to your right. Grip the back of the left thigh. You also have to grip the front of the thigh. Keep that. Bend your right leg. Your arms are in line with your shoulders are in line with your hips. Depending on your flexibility, your arms could be in line with your hips too. Keep pressing through the back foot as you go deeper. Lift your lower abdomen slightly. And then press into your front leg. Turn to the center. Turn to your left. Press into your right heel. Then grip the back of the right leg. Grip the front of the right leg. With your next exhalation, bend your left leg. Keep your mind in your back leg. It's the one that everyone forgets about, especially yours truly. I just want to do a back bend. First, the back leg has to be straight, front leg bent. Try to keep your shoulders directly over your hips. And extend your arms straight. Straighten your front leg, turn your 10 toes to the front. Bring your arms and legs back together in Tadasana. Breathe through your nose. All right. Everyone, I think, had a strap. Everyone that I can see, I think, had a strap. You're going to place this on your left leg. If you don't have a strap, you're just going to do the same pose again. Yes. A scarf will also work. Yep. And Laura, you don't have to tie it. You just have to hold it. But whatever works better for you. So this is what it looks like. So the strap is on the back leg and it comes over your shoulder like this. And then I'm going to hold it with my, I'm going to just come down so you can see. I'm going to hold it with my elbows bent. And then as I come down into the pose, I'm going to straighten my arms. And this helps me keep my back leg lifted as well as my chest lifted. So like this. All right. Bring the strap over your left shoulder. Turn to the right. Walk your hands down the strap. And you're going to have more power with your elbows bent. So lift your leg up here. Then bend your right leg. Lift your leg up. Bend your right leg, lift your left leg up. And when you've gotten all the lift you can, then slide your hands up the strap like this. And see how much lift of the back leg. Yes, nice. So straighten your arms if you haven't already. Yes. And then come back out of the pose. Switch legs. So now it goes on your right leg, over your right shoulder. Pull that leg up. Bend your left leg. Pull your right leg up. And then start to straighten your arms. You can continue until they're straight. You may run out of strap though, so if that's the case, that's just where you are. I'm fairly short, so I usually don't run out of strap. Then straighten your left leg. Come out of the pose. Take the strap off. Step your feet together. Prasanna wide-legged forward bend. Take your feet wide. Hands on your hips. Roll your shoulders back, fold forward. Bring your hands to the floor. If they don't reach the floor, get some blocks. If they're very close, then come onto your fingertips. Push your thighs back. Lift your chest, look forward. Straighten both your legs. Most of you, some of you are really flexible in the hamstring, so this is not an instruction for you. But the rest of you that are less flexible in the hamstrings, lift the backs of your buttocks up. This is a tilt of the pelvis. If you're flexible in the hamstrings, don't do that. You already do that. You guys keep on looking up like we're about to put our head down. All right. Walk your hands back. Release your head towards the floor. If it doesn't hit the floor, just let it hang for a little bit. Walk your hands forward. Lift your chest, look forward. Bring your hands on your hips. Come all the way back up and step your feet back together. You can probably really hear my sticky hands. All right. So I want everyone to do the first one. You're gonna place your hands at the wall, hips towards the center of the room, and then we're gonna lift one leg at a time. All right. So hands to the wall. If a wall isn't nearby, you could also use a chair. I guess I should show how to do that. The way to use a chair is to use the back of the chair. So that looks like this. A wall is a little more stable. So your choice. All right, I guess I'm probably gonna kick that chair. We'll see how tall I am. All right, press your hands into the wall or in the chair. Have your hips directly over your heels. Transfer the weight to your left leg. Lift your right leg up. Yeah. Roll your right thigh in. Yes. Leanne, you can rest your wrist on the, like your forearms on the, yes. Yes, that looks good. All right, then lower your right leg down. Take a breath, press your hands into the wall. Lift your left leg up. Roll your, do we just do that twice? No, it's the other side. Okay, good. Whatever the other side is, roll that lifted leg in so the toes are pointing towards the floor. Don't bring it up too high. Laura, that's a little high, a little lower. Julia, yours could be higher. Yes. No, Laura, lower. A little lower, lower. Laura. Yeah, correct. All right, lower that leg down. Come back up. Okay. Second attempt. I'll show with the chair first. So I'm going to lift one leg and take the opposite arm back. Lift one leg, opposite arm back. So lift your right leg first, and then take your left arm back. Roll your right thigh in a lot. And don't worry about how high it goes. But you grip that same hamstring buttock area. That's what grips. Bring the hand back to the wall, the leg back to the floor. And then go to the other side. Grip the area right below the buttocks. So lift your leg up. That will help you not lift it up too high. This is harder with the chair, by the way, Leanne. Back to the center. Now, lift your right leg up. And now take your right hand back. And then bring your right hand forward. Bring your right leg down. Lift your left leg up. Take your left hand back. And bring your left hand back to the wall, left leg back to the wall. Stand up. All right, lean your hips into the wall with your legs forward. Don't worry, we're not doing another wall sit. Let's do a bunch of wall sits all class. All right, fold forward. Rest. You can grab your opposite elbow. You can keep your hands in your shins. You want to be far enough away from the wall that you can actually rest on the wall. So if your hamstrings are tight, you're going to be further away from the wall. Yeah.
Now you have some choices. You can come back to this, or this way, or you can do it this way. Where am I? Oh, there. Or maybe you need another rest. So either hack handstand or variation of Virabhadrasana 3, which really builds up the abdominal and back muscles. You have a question, Leanne?
Can you do it on your forearms
Yes.
against the wall?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a little harder to measure, and it requires actually quite a bit of shoulder strength. So I'm not perfectly up and down, but this works, yeah.
Okay.
And you could lift one leg up. It actually makes it easier.
Okay, cool.
Yes. For those that are doing Virabhadrasana 3 variation, make sure you keep your hips level. Yes, you could do it that way too, Leanne. Yeah, that's fine. You can just kick up. Yeah. Okay, we have people going all different kinds of directions. Let's see. This Mike is going to do actual Virabhadrasana 3. Well, people are getting warm. All right, so the kicking up has not been popular today. That's okay.
Hey, Mary, sorry again. Are you on your, the foot on the floor? Are you on your toe or your foot? Flat foot?
In which one?
What we just did. On the floor?
Okay, so what I was showing, this is like a variation of Pinchamayurasana. I don't have either foot on the floor.
Oh, I was doing it wrong. Okay.
But this is very similar. We're moving on. But you know, if this comes up again,
Oh, that's
similar.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
And you would probably be on your toes. Some very flexible ankled people could be on their heel.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. A little gift. A block on the floor. I'm still a little cold actually, but I got pretty sweaty right before class, so. Blanket maybe for the head. Lie back on a block like this. Open your chest. So not everyone will need a blanket for your head. For some people, this block will be too low to really get the pressure of the shoulder blades going into the back. A little bit of a back bend, not a deep back bend yet, but just a warm up back bend. So block under the shoulders on the medium or low height. But everyone can press their thighs into the floor and keep their legs active. So toes spread, yeah, toes pointing towards the ceiling. You could use a wall for sure. Okay. Mike, that looks like it's under your hips. I can't really see, but it should be under your shoulders. Yes, it does. It was under your hips. Okay. So we're not quite to that point. We're going to go to that point, but we're not there yet. Yeah. Now, as you breathe in this position, see if you can expand your rib cage as you breathe. Inhale, expand your rib cage. Exhale, descend your abdomen. Keep your legs active, rolled in. So one way to know what your legs are doing is to join your big toes. They don't always join. I have with thicker legs. It's hard to get my toes to join. All right, press your elbows into the floor, come all the way back up. That was your little gift. Don't always expect gifts. All right, so Chatush Padasana. So bring your heels in close to your hips. Grab the sticky mat either side of your hips or maybe next to your heels. Press your heels into the floor, lift your hips. Roll your shoulders under, lift your hips some more. Keep pressing your heels into the ground. And see if you can activate that area right at the top of the hamstring. We've been working on a lot today. So you can activate the top of the hamstring. Press your upper arms into the floor. That'll help you lift your chest. See how high you can get your hips. This is an active Chatush Padasana. Sometimes we do this on a brick. All right, come back down. If that is difficult enough for you, you can stay with that one. Or you can come back up, bend one leg in, and lift it straight up. The trick is, my hips went down a little bit when I lifted my leg up. So I'm trying as hard as I can to keep the hips lifted. So press your heels down, lift your hips. And then you can decide whether or not one leg lifts up or not. And you can leave it up as long as you like, or switch a lot. So they work differently. Like I told you guys that I've been doing some Carrier Worko. She's a yoga teacher from New York. Very unusual type stuff, but she says in our system we don't move very much. So I think both are good to move and to stay. All right. Release down, roll over onto your belly. If you need a blanket under your hips, we're going to do Dhanurasana as well as Shalabhasana, so bow pose as well as locust pose. We're going to start with locust pose. So if pressing your hips into the floor causes you pain, then put a blanket under your belly and then you'll just be in less pain. Bring your hands alongside your hips. Now, grip that area right at the top of the thighs, where the thighs meet the buttocks, and use that to lift your legs. The legs won't come up off the floor very much unless you're extremely strong in your hamstrings. I am not. Then lift your chest off the floor, lift your arms off the floor. Look slightly forward. Salavasana, strengthening your back. Yes. Come down. Take a breather. Roll your thighs in. I'm just watching. I'm up like this because I'm watching. Ah, yes. Move your camera down. Next one. All right. If you want to make this challenging in a different way, you can bring your arms into cactus. So that's, or I guess since the Super Bowl was yesterday, goalpost. I'm sure one of the teams won. All right. Now, I actually know, but lift the backs of your legs, lift them off the floor, lift your chest, and then lift your arms. Look slightly forward, lift your legs up as high as they'll go, but you're trying to lift your thighs up. You're not really trying to lift your shins up, because you can get this false sense of accomplishment by bending your legs a little bit, and the shins will lift up. And then come back down. All right, one more. So choose whether you want to do your hands in goalpost. I like it because it really helps me bring my shoulder blades together. And then with your next exhalation, lift your legs, lift your chest, lift your arms, and see, even if your hands are back, it's a little easier load on your back. See if you can bring your shoulder blades closer together. And see if you can lift a little more of your thigh off the floor. Don't think about lifting your feet off the floor, think about lifting your thigh off the floor. And come down. Then come onto your elbows. Just turn around and see. And then bend your right leg. Reach back, grab your right foot. Push your foot toward your hip. Push through your left elbow to lift your chest up a little more. Yes. Good job, Kathy B. Yes. All right, release that side. Bend your other leg. Reach back. Press your foot towards your hip. Lift your chest as much as possible. Turn your chest forward. So you're not turning towards the bent leg foot. You're actually turning away from it. You get a little better stretch that way. Release that side. All right. So if you couldn't grab your foots, then you have to figure out how to take a strap around both your feet like this. If you can grab your feet, then grab both feet. Otherwise, use a strap. I'll show with a strap. And I would actually like kind of like anklets. So let's see if I can show you. All right. So, I mean, this is just a personal preference. But I like anklets. I feel like I can grab the feet better that way. It's a little better on my ankles. My ankles are pretty messed up. Okay. So, Dhanurasana. Now first, lift your legs off the floor like you did in Shalabhasana. Oh, grab your feet if you haven't grabbed your feet. Lift your legs off the floor. So grab your feet. Correct. And then kick into your arms and lift yourself up. Come back down. Take a breath.
We'll do one more. Lift your legs up. Then kick into your arms to lift your chest up. And come down. Release the strap. We have time for one more back bend. Wow. If we didn't cool down, we'd have time for a lot more back bends. So I'm going to give, we'll do this kind of like in progression. We'll do my least favorite back bend, which is upward facing dog. So first, now you could use the side of a couch, but you just need something a little bit off the floor. So I'm going to grab the sides of the chair like this and walk back. And I want to bring my hips towards the chair. So this can be rough on the wrist. Some people prefer to hold the sides of the chair like this. I think this is harder on my wrist, but that's, so you can grab the sides, you can place your hands. If you had a lot of equipment, you could put two chairs next to each other. The wider the hands are, the a little easier. So figure out what works for you. So the toes are going to stay underneath, tucked underneath. Make sure your chair won't slide. So I actually have mine against a wall. So I'd turn that chair to the other side. And then you can start in downward dog so that you don't have to stay there forever. All right. Press your thighs back, make your legs nice and strong. And then move your buttocks toward your knees here. So this is a lifting of the abdomen, the buttocks tuck under. And then keep that strength there and come forward into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. So hips coming towards the chair seat. Legs straight. Roll your shoulders back. Come back to downward facing dog. I need to come a little closer to the chair to get my hips on the chair. Then come forward, keeping your buttocks tucked under, coming toward hips towards the chair. Then pulling from your legs back to downward facing dog. Tuck your buttocks underneath, round your back as you come in. And then bring your buttocks or your hips towards the chair, roll your shoulders back. You can look up this time. Pulling from the backs of your thighs, come into downward facing dog. All right, step forward. Come up. All right, so you can stay with the chair, or you can come down to bricks. So you come into a short downward facing dog, feet hip width apart. Oops, that's not a short enough dog. And then upward facing dog. There you go. All right, or stay with the chair. You know, work what is difficult for you, but not overwhelming. You don't want to feel this 3 days from now. You have to come back to class, right? All right, so come into downward facing dog. A short downward facing dog. Then buttocks towards your knees, grip the tops of your thighs that we've been talking about. Come forward, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Roll your shoulders back. And lift up, downward facing dog. Come forward, tuck your tailbone under. This is one of the few times you'll hear me say that. Roll your shoulders back, lift your thighs away from the floor.
back to downward facing dog. Now, if you want to try this without bricks, this is the last one. I'm going to stick with the bricks. A little easier to roll over the tops of the toes, although I haven't been doing that. Tuck your buttocks under, come forward. Lift your thighs away from the floor, roll your shoulders back. Back to downward facing dog. And then walk your feet forward. If you have a chair there, you can rest your forearms on the chair and then rest your head on your forearms. All right, come back up. All right, so for those that know and want to do Sarvangasana, you'll do that. I'm going to show a variation of Tatouche with a chair and then with blocks. So everyone will have something to do. And this will be what I'll do today. I'm not going to get my shoulder stand set up. So, maybe it's just right there. I bring my hands to the chair legs. This works on any kind of chair. And then I bring my feet to the chair rails, lift my hips, roll my shoulders under, bring my feet to the chair seat. Now some people will be able to just lift up from there. All right. If you don't have a chair, you can use, this is similar. You can use the blocks at the wall. And lift up. And after you've been here for a while, if you want to use a brick under your hips to be more restful, you can do that. Although lifting the feet up definitely makes this pose more restful. So figure out which one you want to do. Yeah. That's it, Doug. Let's work on bringing your heels back. Well, this also can be done with a wall without a chair, but the chair's a little nicer. You can press more into it. Take rest as you need. So, especially for those that are not in Sarvangasana, you may need a rest. You can also put a brick under your hips to rest there. Correct. And Kathy B, you could also, with the brick there, you could straighten your legs. Yeah, isn't that nice? Yes. We'll do that week from Friday, Marcia. Yeah, and then lift your hips. Like, oh, okay, you could do that. And if you put your feet at the wall again, and then lift your hips, it's kind of the same. Yeah. Yeah. But no, I don't. You know how we feel about that. All right, everyone come down. If you were in shoulder stand, slide off your support. Otherwise, lie on the floor, rest with your back on the floor. All right, we're just gonna do a little twist, little forward bend. Messy blanket. There we go. So on Friday, for those that were here, we did Marichasana 1. Today we're going to do Marichasana 3. No, we did Marichasana 3. Today we're going to do Marichasana 1. So sit in Dandasana. You may need to sit on height. I'll do the same leg. Bend your left leg. Push down on your left knee, lift your chest. And then bring your left arm on the inside of your leg and turn. So, yes, you're going the right way, Mike. Press your leg against your arm against your leg. Open twist. Leg cramp. Oh, wait. Oh, no, turn the other way, Mike. That was my fault. Marichasana 1. So turn towards your wall. Turn away from your knee. Or switch legs, yeah. Now turn towards me. Turn towards the camera. Open. Open rather than close. All right, that doesn't matter. Come back to the front. Switch legs. Press down your knee, lift up. And then press your arm into your knee and turn. You know, you'd think after doing this for a year, I'd be a little more used to doing this online and able to see better, but it's hard to see. I don't have that big screen TV that some people have. All right, come back to the front, stretch your legs out. You can have a brick or a chair. Hold forward. You can rest your hand on your head on your forearms. You're not trying to go for your deepest Paschimottanasana right now. But usually before starting Shavasana, we do something symmetrical. And resting your forehead helps calm you down. Inhale, come back up. It's time for Shavasana. Or whatever you do when they say it's time for Shavasana. So, you can start with your knees bent. Bring your knees together, feet apart, about hip width apart, and be there for a few moments. We didn't do a lot of deep back bends today, but we did back bend, and sometimes that can cause a little discomfort in the lower back. If you want more of this feeling of the lower back resting on the floor, then press your heels into the floor, and that will tilt your pelvis and give even more spreading to the lower back. Then once you've recovered from any discomfort, then you can stretch your legs out, take your arms out to the side, and come into Shavasana. Or you can stay there. You can do Shavasana there. Roll your shoulders under. Soften your neck and throat. Release your jaw. Rest your tongue into the base of your mouth. And use the next few moments to focus on your breath. Deepen your breath. Bend your knees. Support your head as you roll to your side. Roll a little further to your side and use your arms to lift yourself back up to seated. Take your arms wide, lift your chest. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Think of something you're grateful for. Namaste.